Hi, this is Bug Baskin with AdultBibleStudyCurriculum.com, and in this lesson on outreach, I want to talk about us actually being out there and being God's hands and feet, the way we were called to be. And really, this is the most important part of our outreach, because not only does it actually reach out to the world around us that's hurting and struggling, but it also helps our group to sort of grow and to challenge them to reach out more and to build relationships that are stronger and bring new people into the group. One of the first things you may have to realize is this kind of idea of the both and of the gospel. Usually there's this divide. Either we go out and we share the gospel with people and it's about winning souls, or it's about meeting people's needs, and they split it, they divide it. Well, actually, it's a both thing. If we look at the way that Christ lived, he did both, and that's kind of our example that we're to follow. The early church did both. Throughout history, people who I'd say have gotten it, understood it, have done both, and so that's what we've got to be about. So you may have to tackle this issue first in your own heart, and then you may have to also tackle it in your group. But we have to be doing both, sharing the gospel and meeting people's needs, and there's not a first cause and effect. It's just it all kind of happens, all together, and we take the opportunities that we're given. One way that we can do this is going out and serving the homeless. Now, in your community, there may not be any homeless, okay? I know specifically in my town, even though we're an urban area because of some odd laws, we don't really have any homeless people here, but we do have some people who are poor and struggling and hurting, and so we can still reach out. But if we go about 5 to 10 minutes west, there are a lot of homeless. So you may have to really get out of your comfort zone and search, but this is just, it's a great opportunity. It's something that I'm passionate about. I think you'll find some of those grateful people. You'll find that they love God in ways you never imagined, and it's just a beautiful time of relationship building and being able to do that. And I will say that, make it about a relationship, not some mark or not some box you can check off so you feel good about yourself, but really go and invest in the community and build those relationships. Another thing you can do is serve the poor. And I know homeless people are poor, but I think we all probably see this all in different categories. And what happens is we see someone's got an apartment or a car, and we just assume they're fine, they've got it together. But they're still hurting and struggling, and and they're still, they're still poor. And if you really think about it, I mean, it takes a lot for us to make it and be successful. I mean, unfortunately, the world's been built in a way where, depending on where you live, you may need a car, and you may need a cell phone, so you can hear back about job opportunities, and there's just a lot of things, and so we want to meet those needs. And when you're hurting and struggling like in this way, there's a lot of stresses that get added on your life that you need to think about. So there's a lot of ways to do this. There's giving, but sometimes it's giving of your time and say, hey, let me watch your kids, so you can go have a date, or so you can take a day off from work and just rest, or it may be maybe other things, just having friendship. There may be a chance that they're so busy just trying to make ends meet, or just because of the situation they're in, they've been kind of pushed away, and they just want those relationships. And so just getting out there and finding ways to do that. And then there's sharing the gospel, which this is the big one. And honestly, you can do this and should do this through those other opportunities, because we can feed people, we can meet their needs, but still they're going to be hungry and they may be hurting a few days down the road. But sharing the gospel and truly being changed by Christ, that's what's going to transform people and make this process of trying to change their situation begin, I think. And it's something that we've got to be about and passionate about. And sadly, I think it's less than 50% of all Christians ever do this. And so this is something that we have to be about. Now, granted, I focused a little more here on the local thing, and that's because I think in your small groups, that's where it needs to start. And that's something that you can invest in all year. And then, yes, you can take international trips and do these same things, or national trips, bigger trips. And I think that's a wonderful thing to do too. But if you're not ministering the other 51 weeks a year, what's the point? And so I want us to be careful about that and focus in this area of outreach, of actually getting out there and serving the community around us.